right, welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. You're watching TV47 Breakfast right about now. Let's shift gears and talk matters relationship. Being a Wednesday, Freddy alikuwa amesema it's a Thursday, but ni kama anakimbisha wiki. It's a Wednesday. We're talking matters of the heart relationship. Communication, the make or break factor in love. That is our focus this morning. We are communicating every day, be it through text, via calls, one-on-one conversations. But what actually is the problem? Is it communication? Is it the kind of communication being had? Is the problem comprehension? What really is the problem with communication? So we welcome you to be part of this conversation through our socials, TV47 Kenya, on Facebook and on YouTube. On X, it's TV47 Digital. You can tag me at Annie_Odida. Our WhatsApp line is also very active for SMS, 0793267279. That's our WhatsApp line. If you want to also call in live, you can. There will be a number on your screen very shortly. That is our live phone number. You can call us live so that we can have a wonderful conversation on communication. What do you think? Is it really a make or break factor in love? With me in studio, I have Matthew. Karibu tena. Happy New Year. Have we seen each other this year? Yvette, karibu tena. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Nasim, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
How are you?
Merry Christmas. Happy birthday. I'm well.
Happy birthday and everything in between, right? Nasim is a counseling psychologist this morning. Atakuwa anatusaidia to understand really why is this important, communication. Why is it important in this day and age? Start with you, Matthew, right? Communication, the make or break factor in relationship. Do you think that it's actually the make or break factor in love?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Yes, I agree with that, that communication is the main thing, actually. It's the foundational translator of what love is. You know, love without a mechanism to translate it, it cannot be sustained at a long run. So communication is the main translator of the mechanism of love in a relationship. Yes.
As an Afrocentrist, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
I don't know what, I'm taking it slowly so I don't butcher it. I know you're influenced by African cultures and all. But is this something that our parents used to sit down kitambo and just communicate with each other? I've never seen anything like that.
When I try to look at it in an Afrocentrist manner, communication has been there even since the ancient days. So the only thing that has changed, it is the dynamic on how the communication is now being translated now. Yeah, we have changed a lot of things. So our parents, the way they used to communicate their love, to communicate everything in their relationship is quite much different from what we are doing currently. Because of what? Because of modernization and our westernization. Yes.
All right, let's hear from Yvette as well. Is it really the make or break factor in love, communication?
Actually, it is. I love saying that communication is like oxygen in life. Without it, relationships will slowly fade away. Because the same way we depend on oxygen to breathe is the same way relationships depend on communication. And you will realize that most relationships rely more on verbal communication than non-verbal. So if you find people who like to communicate non-verbally, then those relationships are always crumbling because not everyone will learn to read the room. Not everyone will know when a lady looks at you in a certain way, they actually mean this. Or when a lady says no, she means yes. And so you see, communication really determines the growth of this relationship. If you communicate well, if you know how to relay your information correctly to your partner, then you will be able to build your relationship in a very healthy manner. Yes, that's
right.
what
You look lovely, by the way. I love that hairstyle.
Oh,
I'm going to steal it.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Nasim, communication, break or make factor in love. Do you agree with it?
Yes. Like they said, without communication, then nothing is operational. You wouldn't get to know how the other feels or what is happening with the other person. But unfortunately, communication is the same thing as emotional intelligence, but unfortunately not everyone has that or knows how to express that, and that's why you find we have a lot of issues when it comes to proper communication. And when you talk about communication in relationships, we don't just mean communication, we mean comprehensive communication, because most of the time you'll realize most people communicate, yes, but I'm only listening to you to rebanter, to give my take, and I'm not listening to you to really understand where you're coming from. So I'm hoping this conversation will not just be about communication, but also comprehensive communication, and how comprehensive communication looks like in relationships, and how we can actually, you know, have comprehensive communications in relationships.
Start us off with that. How does that look like in relationships, comprehensive communication? How do we then start in a way that, you know, you've made me feel some type of way in Katha, and I don't like how you've made me feel. So how do we have this conversation, listen to understand, and listen to, of course, respond after understanding?
Yes.
How do we have such conversations?
So first things first, in psychology, there's something we call I statements. There are different forms of communication, but for the purpose of this, engagement, I statements. Most of the time, of course, when you're communicating, you're either expressing how you're feeling and everything. So most of the time, you'll realize, I will come at you in a very aggressive manner, in the sense that kila saa unashinda ukifanya hivi and everything. And what happens, we're human. You'll feel the sense of defending yourself. So we won't have a proper communication. It will be an argument from your point of view and my point of view. But what I statement state is me stating the statements from my personal take, from how I'm feeling and everything. So if, let's say, umenikosea, tell you, I felt XYZ when this and that happened. It makes me feel this and that when this. So I'm not accusing you, I'm just expressing how I'm feeling from my point of view. So it gives you the chance when you're rebantering to say, oh, I'm sorry I made you feel this and that, but that was not my initial intention. So moving forward, we can try and find something, different and everything. So that is one point of comprehensive communication, trying to figure out where the other person is coming from. At the same time, when you look into communication, there's this theory of broken window theory. So what the broken window theory states is, actually it was formulated by a criminologist who stated in a neighborhood, where what happens is we ignore little things, and then over time those little things build up into big issues, and that's how now crime rates get bigger and bigger. So he basically stated, if no one cares, if no one is concerned, then anything goes. If no one cares, anything goes. The same thing with relationships. So broken window policy, those little things that we brush under the carpet. He's made a mean statement and you're like, okay, I didn't like that, but since ni kakitu kadogo, let me just ignore it, let it pass. So the more we pass evo, it builds up, something bigger, and at the same time no one else ends up caring. So inakwa, we are all in this house as housemates, because now we are all mean to each other. The way we communicate with each other is coming off in a mean way and everything. So broken window theory is any little thing that bothers us, we address it then. We don't let it pile over, we don't let it slip it under the carpet and everything. We address it then. And then now from there, it now builds that culture of, oh, this and this happened, I felt this and that. So as much as it was small, even in jokes, there are certain things we say to each other in jokes.
Truth in jokes.
Yeah. Exactly, and also mean things in jokes. So you can address something. Also criticism. When you're criticizing someone, do it out of love, because most of the time the criticism will come off negative. The negative criticism of wesikuizi chakula yako iko hivi na hivi. You can find a nicer way to address that or communicate to that. So don't let those little things slip. Sweep them under the carpet, address them.
All right. I want to come back to you, Matthew, on that point you were making on, traditional way of communications versus now the way of communication, then what has really changed? Because you mentioned something about modernization. I'm thinking, hakuna lugha ambayo imechange. We're still speaking our mother tongues. If you're Luo, you speak Luo. If you're Luo, you speak Luo. If it's Kiswahili, we speak Swahili. If it's English, we speak English. So how has that mode of communication really changed when you're referring to modernization?
You know, it has really gone beyond just a language. Why am I saying this? I just connect from what the specialists have said.
Yeah.
The moment, you know, if I try to compare, is that during our forefathers' days, communication was transient. In which way? First, a person could admit their mistakes if they are wrong before solving the problem. But what is happening currently, we try to jump into conclusion in terms of finding a solution of whatever is happening in one way or the other. She mentioned about putting things on the rug. Yeah. You know, sometimes these things escalate into a bigger issue that eventually leads the relationship into drailing. Another thing that has changed now, it is the fact that validating your points and not taking the responsibility of your failures or your faults. This thing has really changed when we try to check even in our, we were trying to do the research. We found that 90% of the relationship currently are failing because of for things like criticism, deflation, things like that. Contemplate. The main reason is during our the ancient days, things were put on the limelight. The discussion were there, and everything was solved. And the moment everything is solved, it is done that way. But whatever is happening now, whatever will be solved today, if the same thing can happen or another thing can happen maybe in the next 3 months, we'll still bring the same issue that happened long time ago. Now we are attacking you are attacking your partner or another person using their failures, not the current the problem that is on the table. So those are some of the things that has really changed. And then the number 3, of course, is now the influence. Of course, I can say false, for men is false masculinity influence. For ladies, I don't know how they refer to it, but at the same, it is both ways. Yeah, you feel like, no, I'm bigger than this relationship. I'm the bigger person in this relationship. We don't want to put the actual value and responsibility of each and every individual they're supposed to be playing in that relationship. The moment each and every individual feels like the king, or you as a man, you want to take the roles of a woman in that relationship, and as a lady, you want to take the relationship of a man in that relationship. The communication factor will have held, and that's why the relationship will not be there. To me, I think that's more of a personality issue. I don't know what you think about it, Yvette, and of course, and Katha, you'll help us understand. Because if you're talking about people who, for example, want to take you back, you've already apologized, and then they bring something that you did or said in 2017. Unajua mimi nakwanga kwa hiyo bracket. True,
I'm one of those people. So is it more of a personality issue, or is it just change of times? And in times, what would you call that?
For me, I would say it's more of a personality issue. Because looking at the old times, I'll differ with Matthew a bit. I don't think the traditional ways had proper communication. I think so many relationships in the ancient times, if we look at the African culture, their mode of communication, actually how women were raised, they were raised not to speak or to tell a man anything. They were raised, if you have an issue, you will go tell your mom or you will go tell the elders. But don't confront your husband because your husband is always right. So you see, that's how women came up. So the man could say anything and the woman could be uncomfortable with it. But because culture has told them you shouldn't respond to a man, then they wouldn't. And some of them will even just keep it to themselves and life will continue. But you see, modern times, people now, education was brought and people realized I need to learn how to communicate how I feel. I need to learn how to tell the other party I don't like doing things this way, I like doing things that way. And so for me, why I'm saying it's more of personalities, because when you find an individual who, when you address a matter, they start reminding you. You see, I've also been in that space of having people who will remind you, by the way, you remember last year. And they even remember the time, they even remember the date. And I will use her notion of the broken window, because this thing never left their heart. They have it here and they were just waiting for that moment to unleash. And so you find they're doing constant reminders, not because you are the problem. And you might have even apologized about that issue last year, but because again you have made this mistake, they're doing it again. And so you realize it's more of an internal thing in them. They have not healed from that previous trauma, and so they will come back with it again. They will remind you, you haven't changed, you did this, you did that. So for me, it's more of a personality issue. Yeah, that's what I'll say.
Great. And Katha, what do you think about it? This conversation about, how people used to communicate kitambo during our grandfather's days, and then in the modern age, is it personality issue, or would you also refer to the change of days and times?
I would say it's a little bit of, yes, personality issue, but a lot to do with attachment issues. We all have, there are different forms of attachment styles. And you realize, let's use the most common one that I feel like majority might have, anxious attachment. Anxious attachment is whereby maybe I'm calling my partner and he hasn't picked up his phone, and then all of a sudden I get all anxious of ako happy, ako na nani, mbona nani ignore, is this relationship going to work and whatnot. So I've created all these scenarios that maybe are not even near what is happening. So it's not a lot to do with personality, but more to do with attachment styles and how we attach to people. And actually attachment style are traced way back to our childhood. So allow me to digress kidogo. So how our childhood experiences work is we formulate things called core beliefs. So in layman's term, core beliefs are the glasses we use to see life with, right? So let's say, for instance, I grew up in a family setup whereby I saw my dad maybe being all rude to my mom, or my mom being all rude to my dad and everything. So moving forward, think of it as a tree. There's the root, there's a stem, and then there's the, leaves and everything. So these experiences are the root. I've seen this so many times. And then the stem is, now let's use one of the old people, thinking of maybe a woman is supposed to be seen or not heard and everything. So the stem is that it keeps on, like you've had this so many times that it's embedded in your thoughts that as a woman, I'm not supposed to confront a man, I'm not supposed to raise my grievances and everything. And now the leaves is now my behavior towards men or towards a situation where maybe I'm supposed to stand up for myself and everything. So all this builds up attachment styles. So I will formulate some sort of maybe anxious attachment when it comes to dealing with my partner, based off what I've seen growing up and based off what I've been hearing over time about how you're supposed to address this, how you're supposed to deal with it and everything. So my core belief is, as a woman, I'm supposed kuvumilia. Unajua wamezoea kusema mwanamke ni kuvumilia, ndoa ni kuvumilia. So unashinda tu kivumilia hivyo. Anything happens, acha nivumilie. I'm a woman. Let me just. So it builds up and builds up to a point whereby my attachment style has really shifted and, is all formulated around that fear and everything. Because if I don't do this, he'll go out there and marry another one. If I don't do this, he'll do this and that. So I feel like it's more of an attachment issue as opposed to personality. And at the same time, when it comes to the attachment issue, I'll go back to emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence has 4 segments. One of them is self-awareness. Being self-aware to know what triggers me, you know, what triggers my anxious attachment. Because at the same time, anxiety talking out of nowhere, there has to be triggers somewhere. So what triggers that? So understand that from a personal level, right? And then it also comes with social awareness, situation around that. Before things really boil up and get bad and everything, kuna kwaga to send sense to dogo and everything. So you're able to pick up on those social cues. At the same time, even when you're communicating, pick up the social cues. Your partner is heated at 100, you're at 100. No communication will happen there. So is this the right time to bring this up, or do I need to cool off first? Does he need to cool off first for us to have this conversation? That's where social awareness comes in. At the same time, relationship management. So relationship management is now knowing this triggers me, this makes me feel this way. When is the right time for me to have this conversation, and how am I going to have this conversation? Back to I statements. I'm not going to bring this up as an accusation, but I'm going to bring it up from the point of how it makes me feel, so that he can see where I'm coming from. So you need to combine all these, you know, different brackets in order to communicate. I feel like it's a whole process. At the same time, once I know what triggers me, what soothes my anxious attachment, you need to figure out that on your own first. Because another mistake that we make a lot when it comes to relationships is whereby I don't know who told us this, the 50-50. He completes me, I complete them. That's a lie. You need to be there 100%. Because what happens when your other half goes, meaning half of you has gone. That's why healing becomes a huge problem, because a majority part of you was all formulated from his side. So when he's not there, then half of you is gone. So basically you need to be 100% yourself. Even when it comes to the soothing anxious attachment, it's not for him to soothe it for you, it's for you to do it for yourself. So I've known my triggers. Now what soothes that anxious attachment? So maybe, for instance, we go back to the call narrative. I've called him, he's not picking. What would soothe that? Maybe I would like it if he just texted and be like, oh, I'm kidogo held up, I'll get back to you. And if he doesn't text, then I need to initiate that conversation. Because another thing we do that hurts the relationship is expectations. I expect him to know this. I've been with him for 5 years. So hii ni kitu anafaa kuwa anajua, but he's not an angel. He doesn't know what's happening inside your head and everything. I normally say expectations are the mother of disappointment, especially unspoken expectations. So communicate, tell them, oh, personally, I get really anxious when you do this and that. So it would be nice if we had this conversation. Just let me know. If you see me, I don't answer your calls, just know I'm kidogo held up, but I will return your call. So that will soothe you. Even just communicating like that, even without the text, you'll know, we've had this conversation before, so I 100% know if he doesn't pick, he's busy. So most definitely, he'll call me back. And what he needs to do on his end is make sure he calls you back. So that automatically soothes the situation.
Matthew, I'd care now to know if maybe you've experienced anything like this. Somebody who has anxious attachment, and just tell us if you've experienced it, how they behave, what happens. Have you?
Yes. I've been there, and it's not an easy situation more so when you're trying to build something together. You know, the moment you come into a relationship, you come with purpose and the ideology and the blueprint of where you want to be after a certain period. So when it reaches that point, actually, the relationship is around 72% dying. So the sooner you are light, the better for you. Just in line with the same. You know, as an Afrocentrist, we go with the spirit of Ubuntu. I am because we are. It's all about community and generational continuity. I just want to attach to whatever she tried to contemplate, whatever I said in regards to modern love and African philosophy, interconnectedness. the reason why I was trying to check on African interconnectedness philosophy, she said it very well, the specialist, that every example that she gave, it's the exact thing that gives a clear picture of the difference between modern love and African interconnectedness. There's nothing different, and let me tell you. She mentioned about when a woman wanted to talk, they were supposed to talk through someone.
Yes.
She also mentioned about when you are getting into a heated argument. I am 100%, I am 100 degrees high, the same, the other party is at the same state.
Yeah.
Nothing will be solved. So why am I specifying on a spirit of Ubuntu? It's because we used to see the communication tool as a major tool beyond generational interconnectedness, beyond community. It's all about community stability. So why is it community stability? When I have an issue and I feel that I cannot solve this issue directly with my wife, because it will bring a heated argument between us. Why? What is it bad for me to go to a person who is very much closer and understands her, and then we see on how this thing can be solved in a good way? That's another way. It's not that women were not given a chance to put this thing, but there was
that's a reality, though.
Yeah,
it is a reality.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But there was a mutual structure on how these things were supposed to be run, and the things were being solved. Yeah, and this is why we are here. If the things were bad, we could not be here.
I know she said right now we are educated, we have this information with us.
That's
now
why,
we know that now we can actually express our feelings.
That's what I'm saying now. When you come now to modern love, it's good to express your feelings. But now when you want to express your feelings, check on how you are trying to translate it into whatever is happening. She gave a good example. You are calling and another person is not picking up. The intuitivity that what is this person doing at that specific juncture. So what I can say is that when you reach to the level whereby the intuitivity problem starts to come into the relationship between you and your partners, you start to have some fishy behaviors. It's better to know that something is bad, and it's not just a small thing, but a whole thing, because the moment the base of a relationship breaks, you cannot fix anything above there. All
right, we'll be hearing from Nkatha if at all she agrees, and Yvette as well. But Nkatha, do men also get anxiously attached?
Yes.
They do?
A lot.
Aya, tunakuja hapo. Yvette, have you ever encountered somebody, a man, who has anxious attachment?
No, yes, I have.
Really? Tell us about that experience.
Actually, last year I was with one. Last
year? So yes. This is still fresh? Fresh out of the kitchen.
Yeah, it's still fresh. Yeah. And I've never encountered a man like that. But what I will say is during our time together, the thing he struggled with is to communicate. And you will find that for him, not finding me was a very big issue. So I usually anytime he calls, I must answer. Anytime he sends a message, you must reply. What do you mean you're not online? What were you doing? Why were you not online? So I realized I was under so much pressure, and at the same time, he met me when I am engaged in so many things. And the first thing I told him is, I'm usually very busy, but I will always reach back. But for him, it was an issue to him, because he was always like, my love language is words. Like, I just want to hear your voice. I want when I text you respond, or else I start thinking, who are you talking to? What is keeping you busy? I should be a priority in your life. And so you realize, anytime he could miss a call for me, he really could, even physically, someone is talking but he's shaking, he's almost like,
yeah,
I don't know,
beating you up.
That was the situation.
Yeah.
And so yes, he never expressed like anger ile he will hit me, but it was always more of, I could call it somehow of anxiety attack.
Well, those were signs.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And even by the time we were ending, because I think we were only 7 months down, and by the time I thank God it came from him. Yes. And we realized this won't work.
Yeah.
And he also realized, even him accepting that, you know what, I need help first. Mentally, I just have a lot of thoughts when I don't find you. I always need you. And so he was like, I think I should work on myself before committing to this. Yeah, so I have been there. So
would you say you're an anxiously attached woman?
No.
All right.
Personally,
why are you saying
exactly. Personally, I'm not. Like, I usually say, for me, I'm the same. I believe this is on a personal level.
Yeah.
I'm the most simple person you can date. Like, for me, communication is usually very key. I will tell you what I want, what I need, from the aspect of also understanding you, not from the me aspect, me. No, I also want to get you. And I usually tell every person that I am usually with that, you know what, let us even have the most uncomfortable conversation, because I realize something about men. Men don't communicate like, they don't love verbal communication a lot. They usually have so much expectation. Like, I shouldn't tell you move this cup from here. Yeah. You should know this cup is not supposed to be here. Yes. Or I shouldn't tell you that you should do this. You should know how to do this. And so you realize a man is always watching you. Watching you. They're not telling you even if they have a problem. Babe, are you good with me? Yes, I'm good with you. And obviously this guy has an issue with you. So for me, I usually tell the other party, please just communicate. When you see I've done this and you're not comfortable, just say it. Just tell me you don't want this. My previous ex, he never loved social media. And me, I'm a person of the camera. Yeah. Let's do this trend together. But because he didn't love that, I respected that. You see, for him, it was like, that's not me. Yeah. And so tell me what you don't love. Tell me what you don't love me doing. Let's see where we can meet. Yeah.
Matthew, when I asked if men are anxiously attached, you said, no. Wamini, men can also be anxiously attached to their partners?
No.
Why?
They can.
Honey, you think you're above the program?
No.
Okay.
Let me explain this.
Yeah.
And I think the specialist, maybe at her professional level, she might agree with me, but at her personal level, she might not agree with me. Yes. You know, for men, the difference between men and women is that women, in many cases, if you only tell them that I love you, that is not enough for a woman. Yeah. The woman should feel that their future is much secured with you. You see? And this is why many men feel like women are selfish. But women are not selfish. It's only that they want to feel that their future is very much secured when they can entrust them with you. And this is why they will feel like appreciated when you do things like celebrating their wins, giving them gifts. So they feel that, yes, this is a person that I can trust my future with. Yeah. That's number one. But when you come to men is all about assurity. Assurity. Yes, that in my dream, as I am chasing, of course you have your dream, I have my dream, but as I am focused, giving you, showing you love, and seeing on how maybe I can provide and all those things, I can get an assurance that you are backing up to my dream.
Through words, right? Words of affirmation.
Number one,
what she's talking about.
Number one, it's through words of affirmation. Yeah. Number two, peace. You know? Yeah, peace. So the moment you give a man peace, and you know what peace means?
Well, what does it mean?
Peace means being in a place holy of holies of someone's heart.
Yes.
That's what peace is all about. But if this person gives you today a green light, tomorrow blue, the other day black, disappears for a few days, comes back, how will you be peaceful with such a person? So though I agree with her at some point, so that's why when she said she's not you know, by the way, let me be sincere, according to research, the specialist will do, according to, it's under the UNHCR, they are saying almost 78% of women are under the same category, are emotionally triggered with whatever is happening. And that's the nature, actually, that's the nature. That's why I said no, because for her, the way she will feel, it's the same way women feel that men should be feeling that way. So sometimes we as men, we might be, I'm not understanding what is happening with you, but you are like, can't you see what I'm going through? So how can I see, how can I know that you are going through this? You see? So that's one of the problem that that is happening between these two individuals. And now men comes in the moment they cannot understand their partner. This is now what brings the essence of men being seen as emotional triggered in this same juncture. So that's what I can submit. I don't know what specialist has to do, but
Nikata, you know, we are talking about if men also get anxiously attached. Is there another word for it when you're looking at men? Because Matthew, Nikama is in denial, but everything is talked about also just circles back to that whole idea of anxious attachment.
Okay, I feel like there's a lot.
There's a lot to talk about.
My eyes kept on rolling. I felt I almost fell. But it's very interesting. Especially now, you know, June is men's mental health, and I'm very grateful we have a gentleman in the panel. So first things first, why should we have a different word for it if they're experiencing the same thing? Why should we have a different word for how men, emotional men are? Like, why shouldn't we just say emotional?
Do they know? Do they actually know that?
So now here is where denial comes in, and I like the fact that he said, as a professional, I will agree with him. On a personal level, I'll not agree with him. But let's focus more on the professional aspect. Men are way too emotional than women. And men have what we call fearful avoidant. So they have anxious and also avoidance. So what happens is the society has taught men to be macho. Like, mwanaume hafai kuonesha emotion. It doesn't mean they don't go through it. They do go through it. But you see, for us, we're very vocal. Even when research are done, it is because women are more vocal. And we talk, utenda ongeleshe, akikukasirisha utenda ongeleshe uchi, ongeleshe mama mboga, umambie, imagine baba alifanya hivi, you get. But men, they are emotional and they keep it in. You get. So they so because they have fearful avoidance, they'll avoid the whole story. Hata ukitaka ku have that communication with them, they won't agree. Atakuwa naumwa lakini atataka kuonesha anaumwa. Why? Because society inataka mwanaume kuwe akae ngumu and everything. So they are very emotional. And I feel like it's about time they started, because the minute you don't, self-awareness again, the minute you don't agree to this yourself and everything, that's how I normally say all emotions are a burst of energy that needs a release point. And what happens is every time you keep on piling up whatever is hurting you and everything, you're not communicating and all that, it bursts out in different forms, either violence, you know, that's why we have a lot of GBV. Not saying that women are not perpetrators for GBV and everything, but is iyo kutokuwa in touch with the emotions. We are human beings, and emotion is part of being a human being. So I don't understand when men say, I can't be emotional because mimi ni mwanaume. That is you being in denial, and that is now a whole remedy for a whole other issue. So yes, but sema tu wao ni venye wako na hiyo fearful avoidant. So yes, watakuwa na hiyo anxiety, but they will avoid to show it, any conversations around it and everything. They'll start, you know, silent treatment. Why? Because they're hurt. So atakunyamazia, they'll just withdraw and, you know, completely. And that's not a healthy way of dealing with it. So it's about time we started agreeing that yes, men are emotional, and it's about time. Even when you see a research done about people who go for therapy and everything, majority are women. Men don't. Not that they don't have these issues, but because the society hasn't given them that safe space of fully expressing themselves, so they completely withdraw, and it brews other issues later on.
I want you to walk us through fearful avoidance, right? How do they now know, as a man, how do they know that he is a fearful avoidant as a person?
So basic things, your partner amekukosea in a way, yes, you feel a certain way about it, but you don't want to express it. You don't want to have a conversation around it. So you start with ghosting, in layman's term. You start withdrawing, unaanza kumavoid because she's made you feel uncomfortable. But being uncomfortable is part of human being. So it's always good to always address this thing. Oh, I felt this. So for them, they don't want to. I don't know who told men that when you're emotional, you're less of a man. But according to me, a man that expresses emotions is way more a man than
more intelligent.
Yes, more intelligence, because that's what also emotional intelligence comes with. So we have that issue as a society whereby we have a lot of men that are hurt and they don't know how to express it. And because they don't know how to express it, they find another outlet. And whatever outlet, either it will come in form of serial cheating or in form of violence. Anything small, he busts out. He's extremely angry. Ukimuliza nini mbaya, unajua demo ukimuliza nini mbaya, of course atakupatia attitude, but she'll tell you exactly what is happening. Atakuchorea mapa kwambie hii na hii imenikasirisha and everything.
Hadi backstory.
Exactly, but men rarely do that. So you are in a relationship with someone that doesn't exactly know what ticks your clock, what pisses you off and everything. So mtu anakanikana walk on eggshells throughout. So it doesn't mean men are human. I feel like it's about time you men realized you're also human and you also have these emotions. And there's nothing wrong with having those emotions and expressing them. Just figure out a healthy way of expressing said emotions.
So Matthew, it appears that communication isn't just a trouble for men when they're in a relationship, but even among themselves, among yourselves, right, as men. Do you agree that there aren't enough spaces for you as men to be expressive about how you feel, as Nkatha puts it? That, okay, for women, as we go to therapy more, if you ask me what's wrong with me, I will tell you, I'll even give you a backstory of what is happening, the genesis of everything. So do you agree that the spaces are not there for men to express their feelings?
The spaces are there, but...
I also think the spaces are there.
Yeah, the spaces are there, very many. But the problem comes in, are there safe spaces for men to express their feelings? Now that's where the problem comes in. It's not just about having a space, but how safe is it? Because for men, the abuse is very much closer compared to the women. So the abuse in which way? Being, whatever you have said, being used against you. And she has said it very well. The society, the way it has put everything, the structures and everything, it feels like when a man today comes up and opens up about anything, even in a relationship, by the way, when a man today, they will open up. When you are still in love and everything is okay, you will tell, oh, my guy, I'm sorry, I'm here with you. But wait till the day things fall apart. It will be used against that man. So that's the problem, and that's what affects many men, not only young, but even those ones that are already in the marriages. Because there is the spaces are there, very many. Counselors, even in the churches, in the mosques, these organizations, even these NGOs that we are running. Even for us, like at Bandang Africa, we have like a lot of events of young people coming up and talking about their issue. But they try to see, is this place safer for me to express my feelings. Because the safer you are, the better it will be for you. But if you just put it to anyone, things might be backfire onto you again.
Yvette, do you agree that women always use, men's words against them? And in relationships, that you're in love, they're telling you everything, and then when things go haywire, then you're starting to use their words against them. Does it happen?
Yeah, it does. Some women actually do that a lot. And it causes men, a relationship, you should be the safe space of that other party. And I would agree in Matthew, during the blissful stages of the relationship, it's a yes, yes, yes. Babe, you can open up to me, tell me this, tell me this, tell me that. But when things go haywire and they just start, you're just like, by the way, guys, that man, that's my man, hey, let me tell you. Or even when you're just talking to him, you use his words against him. You remind him, by the way, you remember that issue, and yet he had confided in you, knowing that you will not use this against me. You would understand me. So I have seen it happening, and it's something that I feel as women we should work on, because some men are not communicating to us because of how we are with information, or how we take that information that they give us. There's this thing when people are dating, just be open with me, tell me everything about you, and tell me, maybe usually just prefer even don't tell me your past. Because I realized something. A woman will hear a man's story. A man will open up because they love you. They just want to be with you. And then the lady will go process all this information and turn it against the man and say, hey, this man is a red flag. This man, if he told me this about him, he will judge him based on that. And the man was simply telling you how his journey has been. And when it comes to men, actually, when you hear a man listen to a woman, I feel they take things differently. They will listen to you and not use your words against you. They will actually make you feel safe, and like they just have a way of making you feel all right. They don't expose your nakedness to friends or to people. Instead, they will cover you. Even when you're apart, let's say you live a journey with a man, you won't find men always discussing about their exes and like how ladies we do it. And so I feel that that's something that women we should work on, so that men can really tell us more. Because right now you meet an empowered lady who wants a man to talk, but their man has an experience from another lady. And so they can't even communicate with this other party because of that other wound they faced from a previous relationship. So I feel we have to do better as women to make our men feel safe.
That is very well said. And Katha, as we come to the tail end of this conversation, can a relationship survive communication after, say maybe it's already on its deathbed? Like Matthew said, sometimes it could be at 72% if communication is bad. 72% dying if the communication is bad. So is it possible to build communication in such a relationship?
Yes, it is. But before we get there, I'd like to address something they both mentioned. Personally, I normally say one of the biggest red flags is also oversharing. So when the relationship is new, you need to understand, one, your partner is not your therapist. So what do I need to let them know, and what do I need to keep to myself, whereby I can go communicate this with my therapist or a professional, because like they said, information you give will eventually be used against. Even for us women, you'll share something with other girls, eventually utakuja kusikia na nani, you get. So it's about time you understood that your partner is not your therapist. No, limit what you need to share. If it's something that affects the relationship, well and good. But history unajua ni kwa nasari walinisahau shule, nikakaa shule the whole day, that the partner mkikosa atakwambia tena maana wazazi wako walikuacha shule. You get. So know what you need to share and when you need to share it. Again, emotional intelligence, social awareness. Do I need to share this now or not? And if it's something that needs to be shared by a professional, don't tell your partner, because they're not, as long as it's not affecting the relationship, it's a personal thing, share it with a professional. Back to your question on whether a relationship can survive and if we can build on communication. Yes, we can. Whereby, everyone needs to understand themselves first. Kila mtu ajite mkutano kivyake. This is me, these are my triggers, this is my attachment style, and this is what soothes, because no one, mtu akikuja kwa may have secure attachment.
Yeah.
Yes, it's there, but no one is 100% secure. We all have little bits of anxiety, even if it's 10%.
Yeah.
When you're doing the assessment, hata ikuja 10% of anxiety watakwambia you have secure, but it means there's that insecurity somewhere. So figure out what your insecurities are and how they're needed to be soothed, and then have that conversation. Another thing that they need to adapt is when it comes to parenting, there's this rose, an analogy whereby there's a rose. The rose has thorns and it has the petals. So at least weekly, monthly, sit down, give each other a rose, whereby the petals are things I really liked that you did this month. And then the thorns are things that I didn't like and they made me feel a certain way. The petals can be something very small. I really appreciate the fact that you woke up 30 minutes earlier to prepare me breakfast when I was going to work. I really appreciate the fact that you decided to pick me up after a long day of work and everything, stressful and all that. It doesn't mean like it has to be something really big. I appreciate the fact that you realized I enjoyed a certain cake and you brought it during, and then thorns are, I didn't like the fact that this and this happened over the month and everything. So once you make a formation of doing this, either monthly or weekly, it helps you see where your partner is at in terms of this relationship, what you need to improve on your end and what they need to improve. Because another thing we do is we get so comfortable once we've gotten into the relationship. You rarely do things together, you rarely, you let it go. So the rose thing, it will help you see where needs improvement, where needs adjustment, and so on and so forth. So yes, you can work on it.
Matthew, do you have a parting shot as we close?
Yeah, mine is just to say it's always very good to be open, communicate with your partner any day, anytime. But when you get things are not going in line with how your intrusivity is supposed to be, and it's turning on to be malicious and very, very much arrogant, it's better to align before you reach the farthest destination. But all in all, thank you so much for having me here. See you later.
Yvette, parting shot?
I would say to every relationship out there, learn to communicate, not loudly. Shouting won't solve the issue. Just speak your heart in a very respectful manner, and your relationship will grow. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, and thank you for keeping it short.
Thank you.
Short and sweet. That is Matthew, Yvette, and Nasim Katha speaking to us about communication, the make or break factor in love. Let's continue this conversation online. TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube, on X TV47 Digital. Our WhatsApp line is also very active, 0793267279. Keep interacting with us, and we'll be sure to sample your feedback on our next show, Relationship Wednesday segment. Thank you so much, gentlemen and ladies, for making time for us this morning. We've come to the end of this conversation. My name is Annie Odida. Good morning.